In a previous episode, Hao and Luan left the cafe, but Hao noticed that someone is following them, and in order not to scare Luan, he said he had to go to the store and would go on alone. When he was alone, he told the girls he noticed them and told them not to hide. A charming girl came out and said she had taken his photo and it made him popular. Now she wants Hao to marry her and is planning to kidnap him. Lu offered to be his keeper and she is ready to pay him 10,000 a month. Cal thought that this is just like in the movies when a lazy Alphonse is kept by a rich woman, and he noticed that she looks very well, but he cannot agree to it, because he should become a real man in this world of beautiful girls. So Hao refused and said he had to go. Lu stopped him and said that at his age there was nothing wrong with him becoming a concubine, and if he was not satisfied with the price, let him just say so, and she was willing to give even more. At this point she pulled out a knife, and it would be a shame if she hurt his pretty face. Hao said, and let's check, because he didn't sign up for nothing in the Thai boxing section. He stabbed her in the handrail and then in the chest. She sat down on her knee and was surprised. She looked at Hao and he wanted to kick her in the face at that moment, but she defended herself in time. Hao told her not to bother him anymore, but Assistant Lu said, yes, he is pushing it. She ordered everyone to stand still and she would deal with him herself. She ran at him, swung her arm and wanted to hit Hao, but he dodged a hard blow. She got too close to him and he swung his knife, but she dodged the knife. Since girls in this world are strong, he knew he couldn't handle her and decided to call the police. Lu told him he was not only handsome, but also clever. The assistant said to her, can't she just let a boy like that go? Lu replied, stupid, it takes more patience to woo a handsome man, so what do you say, handsome? Let's end the conversation here, leave me alone, I haven't dropped the police call yet. She looked at him with a penetrating look and her assistant videotaped the whole thing and sent. At this time, a rising talent was discovered in one of the largest offices and reported to Mrs. Wei. The chairwoman told us to sign him, he was bound to be a popular star. She sat there and thought, since when is this my concern? Shouldn't that be handled by a talent hunter? The assistant said it was, but the chairwoman said to show you so you could talk to him in person. Isn't my mother still hungry for fresh meat and decided to find me a new daddy? The assistant showed her pictures of Hao. She saw him and realized that he might be a high school student. She told her to find out all the information about Hao, and the assistant has to give her a report in the evening. Yes, Mrs. Wei. Lu went to the window and said Zhang Hao means. The next day Hao was playing basketball with Luan on the school playground. Luan said to him, I think you have a cold, can we not play basketball? It's a girls' sport, why should we do that, let's go to the stands and cheer up the girls. I don't have a cold, I just sneezed once, besides, who said basketball was a women's sport? At that moment Hao threw the ball into the basketball net and hit it from a far distance and said that guys can also play basketball well. Luan walked up to Hua and told her if she had the feeling that Hao had somehow changed, don't you think? She replied that Hao was happy and that was all that mattered. Luan thought how cool Hao was, even Hua's icy heart could melt. At this time, Lu Feng and his girls were discussing Hao and those girls around him, because they don't even know his real identity. Lu Feng hated Hao. One girl was discreetly taking pictures of Hao. This was an order from Lu, but he noticed that someone was taking pictures of him. He looked in that direction and didn't notice anything. A girl came up to Hao and asked him, what's wrong with you? I imagined it. After the basketball game, Hao went home. He put his hand on Hua's head, said, see you tomorrow. Luan approached Hao, but he said to make him a little more manly. Suddenly he heard the sound of the camera and looked towards the bushes. Luan said to him, what's wrong with you, Hao? You're always looking somewhere today. Hao replied, nothing, just a persistent feeling that I'm being followed. Okay, you should probably go home now. Someone took a picture of me, Sister Qian Qin. He went to the tree and grabbed her shoulder and told her not to hide. The girl said out of fright that she did not do anything. Hao said for her to give him what she had in her hand and asked her, did she take a picture of it? She handed over the camera and said she only took one photo. But why did she take a picture of me secretly? That Sister Lu sent them a task to the group, She said to get your photos and to pay 200 yuan for each photo. Whose sister Lu, is she the one who's holding this neighborhood? Her name is Lu Xin, she's the boss of the neighborhood. I see, delete the photos and you can leave. Cal thought that the girl who wanted to kidnap him was too annoying and needed to think of a way to get rid of her. On the weekend Hao went to the mall to meet Luan. He told him that he would soon sign a contract with Douyu. They agreed to all the terms and were willing to give him money in advance, and since he now has money he can buy a gift. Luan asked, "What other gift? Do you have a girl you like? Why didn't you tell me about her?" Hao replied that the gift would be for his sister. After dad got married the second time, now he has a sister, in case you didn't know. And what conditions will you put before Douyu? I will not show my face on the streams, I will only play the games I want. 2 hours of streaming every day, on weekends can go up to 5 hours, and if there will be any events, you need to notify him in advance. And most importantly, no sexualization. At this time Lu Feng was in the same mall. He said that Hao is the first hottie of their school. He is very arrogant and all the girls run after him, but in fact he has a relationship with a whole bunch of girls. His friends said they can't have men like that and looks are deceiving. Feng, maybe we should teach him a lesson and then go buy lipstick. Feng agreed and replied that he had just recently been given a good bonus and he could give them a lipstick each. Feng, I'll go too, let's make him cry and then film him, let everyone see his ugly face. Okay, but let's find a quieter place, there's bound to be some girls who want to save such a handsome man. Hao, let's see you embarrass yourself in front of everyone on the internet. After a while Hao bought sister's gift. Luan pleasantly surprised that Hao treats his sister so well and bought a belt for more than 1,000. Hao said that the money from the streaming platform would be charged every day. In addition, his sister gave him diamond earrings and he had to buy an expensive gift. Hao and Luan went to the bathroom. Feng and his friends followed them and said this was their chance. Feng told his friends to go to them and he would watch outside so no one would come in, but really Feng didn't want Hao to see him. They said okay. Expect good news from us. Hao and Luan were standing by the mirror. Hao said not to spray much perfume, the smell is too pungent. Those two friends came out to meet them. One of them wanted to purposely bump into Hao, but he deftly dodged. Hao grabbed him by the scruff and asked what he was doing. The second friend decided to step in for him and said, "Are you blind or what? You almost hit my friend." Moon said, "Maybe you're blind, on the contrary your friend almost hit my friend." He grabbed at Moon's shirt and said, "Who are you calling blind?" Hao grabbed his arm and said, "The culprit probably knows himself that he is wrong, and you dared to touch my friend, are you sick of living?" They began to argue who was right and who was wrong, but at some point Hao got tired of this chatter and decided to just leave, but his enemy decided not to let him go just like that and spat at Hao. Hao could not tolerate such a nasty act in his direction and punched him. The second friend watched this and said, "What a scoundrel, he also hits people." Luan said, "So you started it," and started arguing again. He told them if they hit him on purpose next time, he would break their legs. One of the battered men didn't want to take this abuse, so Hao punched him in the face and decided to call his girlfriend. Hao and Luan came out of the mall and were met by the girlfriend of the battered guy. She came up to Hao and said, "Are you the jerk who beat up my boyfriend?" Feng wanted to sneak out again and told everyone he had to pee. His friend told him to come back to their place after the toilet to take a picture of Hao's ugly beaten face. But Feng had another plan. He wanted to wait until Hao and Qi argued, at which point Feng would take a picture of them and label it Hao's lover and send it to their school forum, and the shame for Hao would be assured. "Wifey, he hit me. Are they at it again? Actually, you're the one who started the confrontation and you spit on Hao. If anyone has anything to say, speak up. I'm in a hurry. Love makes the world a better place." She fell in love with Hao at first sight. "Hitting people is bad, please apologize to my boyfriend, you're a reasonable boy, just apologize and that will be the end of it." She was puzzled, why is she asking him to apologize, she was supposed to beat Hao. "You want me to beat up a man? You just liked him, right? The moment you saw him, your eyes changed dramatically, and I'm your boyfriend. Hey, take your personal business elsewhere. I'll go. But Chi was not happy with the outcome and told Hao to stop. Hao told him that he will report them to the police, and if they pissed him off again, he will beat them so badly that his own mother would not know. A girl came up to Ha and said there had been a misunderstanding and asked for his phone number. She would drop him some money as moral compensation. Fong videotaped the whole thing and decided to edit the video to make it look as if Hao was her lover, shaming Hao in front of the entire town. Suddenly a Rolls-Royce pulled up to the mall. The assistant opened the door. A charming girl got out of the car. This is the same Mrs. Wei. They came to conduct an inspection in one of the mall to trace the revenue for the second quarter. Wei couldn't believe it. Is that how? At that moment a crowd of people approached Fong from behind. It was Lu. She asked him, what is he filming there? Fong was afraid of her and said it was nothing. She took his phone and saw the video. Lu asked him, aren't you afraid of death, filming my man with another woman? She grabbed him by the neck. He begged her not to touch him. Fong was shocked. Does Hao know the local boss of the area? Lu decided to drag Fong to Hao. He walked up to him and told him, here we meet again. We haven't seen each other for 2 days. Do you know how much I missed you? Luan didn't understand what was going on here. Who was this girl? But Hao did not want to find out. He silently turned around and was about to leave. Lu asked not to hurry, because she found the rat who was secretly filming him. At that moment she kicked Fong in the back and said that she brought him here. Now he can do what he wants with him. Hao asked her what she wanted him to do. Lu fixed her hair, took a bouquet of roses in her hands and confessed her feelings to him. She offered him to be her boyfriend. Hao stood puzzled. If you become my boyfriend, you get everything you want. Hao answered her that he didn't like her, so he couldn't become her boyfriend. If that's all, I'll go. Lu apologized to him for rushing, but could he at least take her flowers? Hao said he won't take her flowers and he won't be her boyfriend because earlier she threatened him with a knife and they fought, so they are even. From now on let's pretend we don't know each other. Lu asked the helpers to take away any unnecessary people so they wouldn't disturb the conversation. Luan asked her if she would kill them to get rid of the witnesses. No, of course not, and you are Hao's friend, isn't your name Luan? Hao asked her how she knew the names of his friends. Wasn't she looking for information about him? She's threatening me, using Lin and Luan. Okay, maybe I was wrong, not you or me. Tell me, what do you want? Lu walked up to him and said, since the guy himself suggests that, I'll concede to you. How about you come with me to the bar and have another drink? Hao agreed and asked where and at what time to approach him. 7 o'clock tonight, Hoyan Street, Bar Chancy. I'll be waiting for you. I promise I'll be on time. After that conversation Hao and Luan went home. Luan told him that that girl seemed to be from the mafia, plus they had tattoos on their bodies. Are you sure you want to go to a bar with her? Hao told him if he said no she would find a way to get them anyway. He is going to the bar with her to test the ground and he has nothing to worry about as Hao goes to Thai boxing and she won't do anything to him. On the contrary, Luan should have been more careful for a few days. Luan hugged Hao and cried. He said he did not want Hao to die. At that moment an unfamiliar woman approached them. She told Hao that Principal Wei invited him to a meeting. If he did not mind he should follow her. Hao didn't understand what was happening today. Will it ever end? He told her he was against it. And who is Principal Wei? All of Mrs. Wei's assistants and employees all looked at Hao intently. After that Hao couldn't refuse and said, okay, show me where to go. He asked Luan to go home. If anything he will call him. Hao arrived at their office. He entered there and went up to the floor to the director. When Hao entered there he was shocked. There was just a crushing aura coming from this woman. Her name was Fong Hong. She is the CEO of Wei Nan Media Group. She stood up from her chair and walked over to him. She said, not a bad face, they're rare in the market. Sign this contract and I'll make you famous. Hao read the documents and said, Director Wei, there seems to be a misunderstanding. I'm not going to become a star, so I'm not interested in our cooperation. I have to go, goodbye. The assistant grabbed him by the shoulder and said, ah, you ungrateful high school student, Principal Wei called you personally for a talk. But Hao deftly grabbed her arm and said he was not interested and dismissed her. Wei thought, is he familiar with martial arts? And suddenly attacked him. He dodged her punch and wanted to hit her back in the chest area, but she defended herself and grabbed his arm and said, "A young kid who knows kung fu? And that's a nice bonus." Hao replied, "Thank you for the praise, Director Wei, however I cannot accept your offer. Don't turn me down. I always get what I want, I'll give you time to think." "Show him in, there is Director Wei." Hao thought, that woman, she's not easy to resist. He returned home in the evening, and there was a pen dictaphone, a pocket knife, and anti-pepper spray on the table. After that he picked up the phone and wrote, "If I do not call you tonight 8:30, immediately call the police tonight. Need to finally delineate the relationship with Lu Xin." After a while he went to the appointed bar. Entering the bar he met a girl. She said that "Our boss is waiting for you," he said, to show where to go. The girl led him to Lu. He said, "I agreed to come here to settle everything and I do not want any business with you. Let's pretend that we never met at all. I do not know you, you do not know me, everyone is happy." She said it would be difficult to implement. "Well, let's do it this way." She took the glass in her hands and gave it to Hao. "You knew that I would be against it, will continue to resist. I just called the police." "And what will you tell them? I'm just with the man you like. Is it forbidden?" The assistant said, "Sis Lu, not embarrassed in front of him. We have his photos and videos of him. If he wants to splash, we will send them to the internet, so be nice." She looked at Hao and said, "Be nice to Sis Lu. These two sisters I see the first time, such confident people. Well, I already turned on my recorder." She looked at him and said, "You know, but she's right." Hao said, "And you've already got it? Are you determined to stab me in case you refuse to?" At this point, Hao put his hands in his pocket and pulled out a pepper spray and began spraying it on them. The girl was very surprised and the pepper spray made her start crying. She didn't understand what was going on. Hao came up to her with a knife and put the knife to her neck. She asked to let go of her awkward movement and it could lead to someone's death. Lu looked up and said, "Oh, you boy, look how brave." He said that you shouldn't send anyone away, otherwise I am not responsible for myself. You won't be happy with the police. Hao walked to the exit. I threw the girl away. Lu was surprised by his actions and her interest in him increased. "Lu, Hao's sister sent me a text message that he recorded all of your words on the recorder. He said if you pester him or his loved ones, the tape will go to the police and the fight will not be for life but to death." "Ah, you bastard, how dare you!" At this time, Assistant Principal Wei was watching. She called Principal Wei and said that Hao was okay. Went to school. He thought since Lu threatened him 3 days passed, but it was of no use. If it doesn't help, then have to think of something else. At this time his classmates were discussing something. They said that someone got rid of Sister Lu and a new boss will come to the flame tonight. So strange, why change the boss so suddenly? Because there was no prerequisite saying that reported a severe bullying in Feng Hong Media Group. Hao thought Feng Hong Media Group personnel changes something familiar. At this moment he remembered and said, "Is not it Director Wei's company? But what kind of connection between the director and Lu Xian?" After school, Ha came home. His sister met him there. She told him to sit down to eat since she made the food today. He asked her, "Where are Daddy and Auntie? Are you home alone?" "My sister said that they were busy at work and that they wouldn't be home today. So it's just me and my sister at home alone. Unmarried girl and a guy with no wife." At this point she pointed her finger and said, "What are you thinking about?" "No, nothing, let's eat." "What am I thinking about? This is my sister, even though there is no blood relationship between us." After dinner his sister told him that he should do his homework because in the evening he has a live stream, and she will do the dishes herself. He asked if she really needed his help. She took his hand and said that it was okay, she will not tolerate if his beautiful hands get dirty. He was surprised. His sister is so kind and thrifty, not a girl but a dream. In the past world I only dreamt of such a girl. I wish she was my sister. In the evening Hao started a live stream. He told his subscribers that the stream will last 2 hours and today he will play a ranked game. After 2 hours his half-sister came to his room and told him it's been 2 hours and he should rest. He replied that he had already finished the stream. He asked him if he was tired. "Come here, I'll give you a massage." Hao said he was fine. She had just finished her chores and she should rest too. She took his hand and told He was so thoughtful and suggested we rest together. Hao replied that their family, it's natural to take care of each other. Family? At this point she cried. Hao was surprised and asked, "What is wrong with you? Why are you crying?" "Don't they say women don't cry? Didn't I say something offensive?" Sis just too happy, so unwittingly cried, "Become a family for Hao and be with you together, I'm just delighted." At this moment, Hao thought about the fact that he moved to another world and was able to learn a lot that he was deprived in the former world, at least was able to get a full family. He took Qin's hand and thought, if I stay in this world, I will definitely protect all family members and make them happy. Sister Qin, a long life awaits us and our days will be even happier. She was shocked by his words. Actually, I'm a real woman and usually I don't cry, but now I cried in front of my little brother. I'm so ashamed. Sis, thank you for accepting me as a real family member. She looked at him and thought, we were meant to be family to begin with. They lay down on the bed and he asked her if they should sleep in the same bed. She said Mom and Dad weren't home tonight and she didn't want him to be scared that night. Besides, my sister has always wanted to have a heart-to-heart talk with you. He asked her what he wanted to talk to him about. He was embarrassed because his sister's body was so sexy. Qin asked him, what kind of women did he like? Kind and gentle, affectionate girls. So that's the type you like. Are there any classmates like that at school? Hao thought of Yu Hua, but she was rather plain. Qin clarified him, so there are no such girls, you are just learning. Falling in love early is also bad. Hao is too handsome a man, that's why sister is worried about you. He had already begun to fall asleep and said that she has nothing to worry about, he is strong. In the morning he woke up and there was no one in bed. He called out, Sis, are you home? He went into her room and she wasn't there. He thought after all it was her day off. Did she have to go to the lab today? Hao walked over to Sister Qin's bookcase. It must be the opposite in this world. Novels are written for men. Suddenly he noticed some book. He picked it up. He looked at a few pages and was surprised. How can a girl read such indecent books? So these are the feelings of Sister Qin. It can't be, she cried yesterday because I called her family. Suddenly something happened to Hao. He felt very sick. In front of his eyes appeared some girl who had already appeared a few months ago. Again, what is it? In the evening Hao finished the stream earlier than usual, as he was not feeling well. The book keeps going around in his head there. She can't really harbor such feelings for her brother, can she? And that picture that appeared before my eyes out of the blue, I still can't remember what it was. The channel stands in one place, the number of likes and subscribers does not grow. It is not so easy to be a blogger. The next 3 days he was sent a proposal for raising the activity. Because his channel was not stable and stood still, he did not decide to use it for a long time, but as soon as he opened examples for raising the activity on the channel, he was shocked. There was a dance in short tight shorts in the offer. And a few other examples, sweat-drenched, handsome jock and abs cubes, but Hao wasn't going to stream that. On the third day, the streaming platform administration scheduled a private meeting with Hao. Luan was surprised that the administration itself came to a private meeting with Hao. Going into the coffee house, they were met by Sun Qing. She is Hao's channel administrator. She said he could call her sister Sun. Hao introduced his friend Moon. He came with him today for support. Hao said he had looked at all 3 options but none of them suited him. Sun said she watches all his streams and knows his character, so the first 2 options are not considered, but about the third one she suggested to think carefully, because the effect could be overwhelming. He didn't understand how. She looked at him with a penetrating look. Suddenly she stood up and put her hand on his neck and said, judging by your well-developed chest, you're not indifferent to sports, are you? You don't even have to show your face and you don't have to do anything abstract, your body will be more convincing than words. In addition, at the same time he can stream and pump his body, how about that? Luan said, Hao has some truth in her words. Hao thought, in principle if I train in a mask, there is nothing wrong with it, also if the viewings become a mass, it may interest other men to do sports, which may affect the opinion of women on the men of this world. In the end, Kao agreed to host a workout stream, but the streams will be done while wearing a mask. When he came home, he told his dad about it and he wasn't happy and said he didn't agree with it. So we're adults now and we can do whatever we want. I already let you do too much. And you already decided to become a fitness blogger. You look at all these shameless people. I will not allow my son to stream his workouts. Hao told him, because he himself always says that I'm weak, and if he starts working out and build up his muscles, this problem will immediately be solved. At this point his sister came up to them and said, "Uncle, don't be angry with him, I think Hao has a point. Uncle, let Hao try it and I'll supervise it. If he does anything wrong, I'll turn off the stream right away. Keep an eye on him, oh my son, not a day without worrying about him." "Thank you, Sister Qianqing. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been able to talk him out of it." "Don't thank me, I am your sister and I really want to be on your stream." In the evening he started a training stream. He told me how to train properly. That day the channel activity and rates began to grow rapidly. I knew it. Earlier on this platform do not run the streamers of this format yet, still waiting for success. At this time, Hao was training hard and girls were writing to him. But Sister Qianqing was out of her mind with jealousy and didn't know what to do. But she decided to restrain herself because she's not that little girl anymore. Otherwise, Hao would drift farther and farther away from me. After half an hour Hao finished the stream, he thanked everyone for the gifts and in an hour he will turn on the game stream. After he finished the stream, his sister came up to him and asked him if he was okay. "Maybe that's enough streaming for today, because your sister is worried about you." Hao says it's okay, he works out every day and 30 minutes of sports is easy for him. "Okay, go take a shower or you'll catch a cold." Sister Qianqing was interrupting me. What am I thinking? Sis treats me so well and I have such an opinion of her. At night Hao went to bed, but suddenly his half-sister came into his room. She came to him and thought, "How, if we had not broken up then?" She began to remember snippets from her childhood, when they were not yet half-siblings. She tilted her head to his face and moved closer and closer. Hao through sleep said, "Go away." He moved even closer and one moment she grayed next to him. Moments from childhood. "Don't you have any friends either? Then play with me." She hit some girls. Hao was scared of her and told her she was scary and he was scared of her. She came up to him and grabbed his shirt and told him, "We promised we would be together, you can't be scared of me, let's go to my house." In the morning, Hao woke up with a bad headache and thought I was dreaming. "Okay, it's Monday, I have to get up or I'll be late for school." Suddenly he heard a sound. He turned his head and strongly wondered why Sister Qianqing was sleeping in the same bed with him. At this point she woke up and said to him, "Good morning, Hao, get up, you have to go to school." "Good morning, how did you end up in my bed?" "Yesterday I came to see if you'd thrown the blanket back, but you were sleeping so nicely so I couldn't help myself." "Sis, let me go wash up first or I'll be late." "Come on, wait, I'll buy you a new car and drive you to school in it." Then he went to school. On his phone he was watching a new Taekwondo section. Suddenly Yu Hua came up to him and told him that she was trained in it. "Do you know Taekwondo and since when do you learn it?" She said that she had been studying since junior high school and that she also practiced wrestling. Hao asked if she liked the sport and why he liked weapons. "My grandmother was in the military, I want to be in the military to protect my family and country. I've been trained by everyone since I was a baby, so my military future is determined." "That's right. Please teach me some wrestling tricks." "It's still early, we can go to the playground, there's an abandoned warehouse where no one goes. Just the two of us." "Then I agree." They went to an abandoned warehouse. Hao offered to hit him to evaluate her skills. At this point she ran at him. He was surprised at her speed. She hit and he did not understand how it happened. She sat down on a chair and told him he lost. "Yours is taken." "Then can I have my reward?" "Reward?" Suddenly she kissed him. Hao didn't know what to do, but he didn't even mind, his reaction was positive. She asked him, did he like it? Hao didn't know what to say to her because he was excited. Yu Hua, let's stand up first, I don't feel comfortable talking in this position. Why did you suddenly kiss me, did you want to? Yes, I wanted to do it myself, Huang Yuan sent me videos, that's how I learned how to kiss. He asked her to show him the videos, she gave him her phone, he was shocked by those videos. How, was I wrong? I think to say that guys and girls don't communicate that way is not true, I mean I see that in normal life we can't communicate that way, next time don't listen to her, just ask me. How, when will we be able to communicate like this, just like just now, what did you call it? No matter what you call it, classmates and just friends can't do that, remember, only couples do that. You can't just kiss me and I don't do that either, okay, back to school. What if you and I became a couple? Do you know what it means to be a couple? Then we'll talk about it after I find out. After that they went to school, Hao went with Luan and Hua asked him if they could talk like this now, no. And now, no. Luan asked Hao, what does Hua want from him? Today she only glimpses next to you, don't ask, it's all the fault of beauty as always. At this time Lu Feng was watching this and thought, Mingyu Hua is from a wealthy family and usually doesn't really make contact with outsiders, but she is so fond of Hao. Suddenly an unfamiliar girl came up to Hao and said hello to him, he greeted her and asked who are you? Hao followed this girl, Lu Feng caught the moment and decided to take a picture of him. Last time you acted differently, I didn't even recognize you, tell me what do you want? That was Feng Hong Media Group General Manager's secretary, I was rude to you last time, I'm sorry, I personally wanted to apologize for my behavior, but I also came here because the general manager wants to see you. I don't want to see her, no matter how many times she sends her people to me, I don't want to waste other people's time. Cao, I'm a man of servitude, if I don't follow her orders, she obviously won't pat me on the head, let's make a deal, just call and talk to her on my phone. Hao thought, better not to oppose this principle, last time I could not overpower her. He called and told her that your secretary said you want to meet me. Director Wei, nothing can happen between us, I won't change my mind. You must be a very busy person, no need to waste your time on me. How, do you want to become as powerful as women? Hao was silent. I have seen your look very often, the look of someone who hates to be judged as a weak man. And last time I saw that look in your eyes. Cao, I'm not just a person who provides for celebrities, I'm giving you time to think it over and I'm waiting for your answer. Hao thought, this woman, she knows what to push, I can't hide from her forever, I have to meet her. So you're a man who hates being mistaken for weak. The next day Sister Qian Qin gave Hao a ride in her car, she told him his hair is tangled, okay go hurry to school and I'll wait until you enter the gate, okay. At lunchtime, Hao went to the cafeteria, his classmates told him not to look in his direction. They were discussing him, what a shame, who would have thought that Hao was a different person, and before he was the idol of all the girls, what an idol, just read what was published in the forum, he's not only a lover, he also has several rich mothers. But the forum was heated up and all the girls were furiously discussing the publication. Hao, I think there's something going on here. Yeah, I noticed. It started yesterday, for some reason everyone is trying to keep out of our sight. What's going on? After some time in class was collecting homework, one of the guys came up to Hao and said, you have not handed in your homework, you probably often busy at night, so you did not have time to write homework. Exactly, you were born handsome, I bet women can provide for you, you don't even need to go to university. Hao answered him, you should have told him right away that you're jealous of me, why are you talking so ambiguously? Do I sound ambiguous? You have rich moms and pretend to have nothing to do with it, you're not even ashamed to go to school. Provide? What did you say? How dare you embarrass Hao? It's not me who's embarrassing him, go to the school forum and see what's happening there the last couple of days, he is always seen near the school in the company of women, even pictures are available. Luan went to the forum and was shocked, in the comments Hao was called a public transport. At this point, a teacher came into the classroom and told Hao to go to her office. Do you know what's going on in the school forum right now? I just found out. This incident is bad for our school. I hope you come to your senses. You can't control these women in our society. Stop it. Teacher, I don't want to think about it. It's not necessary. I am not provided for by any women, and my sister drives me to school, and the woman friend is just an aunt I met on business. If you don't believe me, I will call my sister to come to school. However, the one who wrote this post on the forum wants to lie to me. I hope the teacher can figure out who it is. Wait a bit, my sister should be here now. Hello, I'm Sister How. Hello, so that's how it is.